Playoff time is here in the wonderful world of the OHSAA and so much more. I'm Tommy Maroon for Tommy Maroon Sports Show, hence the Highland shirt, hence the Highland hat, because we are in the playoffs. Honestly, it's pretty bad if you don't make the playoffs anymore now, considering the fact that the top 16 teams in each region do. But anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. First, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers for the first time. And boy, oh boy, guys like Darius Garland off to a strong start. Heading into last night's game against the Lakers, 19.3 points per game, 5 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game. Donovan Mitchell, 23.8 points per game, 50% field goal percentage, shooting 37.5 from three-point land. And Evan Mobley, 17.8 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 2.5 blocks per game. And Jared Allen, 17.3 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per game, and 1.8 blocks per game. Game recaps. We're going to look at the first 5 games of the season for the Cavs. What were they? They were all wins, including that one right there, the most recent one, where the Cavs downed the Lakers in a considerable margin, 134 to 110. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, the Cavs at the Raptors, where the Cavs won by 30. And Evan Mobley had 25 points, 9 rebounds, and Donovan Mitchell had 21 points, and Chris Boucher, 18 for Toronto, Grady Dick, 16 for Toronto. They were up by 7 in the first, but the good old Cavaliers came back despite having less rebounds. Then the good old Cavs against the Pistons. God, I can't speak, can I? Cavs beat the Pistons, led by former Cavs coach J.B. Bickerstaff. Remember that name, my friends? He was just the coach last year. But yeah, anyways, his Pistons lost 113-101, where Dean Wade and Donovan Mitchell contributed with 19 points each. And Jared Allen had 17 points, 11 rebounds, and Ty Jerome 13 points, while Cade Cunningham 33 and Jaden Ivey 22 for Detroit. And then the Cavs against the Wizards. Cavs won 135-116. The good times were kept on coming. Donovan Mitchell with 30.6 threes, and Darius Garland and Jared Allen pitched in with 23 points apiece, and Ty Jerome had 13 points and 5 free throws. What else? 7 Wizards had 10 or more points. They were really evenly distributed, too. And the Wizards were only winning at the beginning of the game. And then the Cavs against the Knicks, almost too easy, 110-104. Well, it wasn't that easy because the Knicks were up 13 in the third, and both teams shot 83.3% from free throw land. But Darius Garland went crazy, 34 points, 5 threes. Donovan Mitchell, 25 points, and Jared Allen, 15 points and 15 boards. Well, Jalen Brunson, 21 points, and Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns no longer with Minnesota. He is now with the, who do you call him, New York Knicks. 13 points, 10 rebounds. And this game right here where the Cavs got to a rocket-fast start against the Lakers. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Jared Allen, 20 points, 17 rebounds. Darius Garland, 12 points, 10 assists. Donovan Mitchell, 24 points, 7 rebounds. And Ty Jerome had 14 points. Don't sleep on Ty Jerome, folks. Don't sleep on Evan Mobley. He's got 25 points and 5 rebounds. What else happened? LeBron, 26 points as per usual, led the Lakers, and he had 6 rebounds, pretty respectable. Anthony Davis, 22 points and 13 rebounds. And, of course, we saw Bronny, LeBron's son, score his first 2 points ever in NBA history, much to the applause of the crowds, and that's always a good thing. It's always good to see the Cavs drill 17 threes, whereas the Lakers only made 6. And it's always good to see that the Cavs got a game on ESPN. ESPN tomorrow when they take on the Magic. Remember last year's first round game against Magic where the crowd was going nuts to start off game 1. That was pretty incredible, and the audio wasn't working. The broadcast was having technical difficulties. That was probably for the best, wasn't it, folks? But anyways, now that the Cavs are done, we got to talk about the best part of the show, Tommy's picks. Yes, sir. Highland did it again. They won 34-0 over the Aurora Green Men. We won 10-0 on the season. And the previously undefeated Green Men just take a huge jab to the face. And Avon beat up Avon Lake 42-10. Hoban beat Ads 24-21. Ads is only 5-5. That's odd. Walsh is undefeated to end the season too, 42-0. Hoban's 8-2, by the way. Washington beat McKinley in the biggest game in the country. Strongsville beat Brunswick. Olmsted Falls beat the Midview Middies. Strongsville, of course, finished, I believe, second in the conference because Mentor won the, Greater Cleveland Conference. I don't know if there's Mentor on here. There's not. Lorraine finishes 9-1 with a huge win over Maple Heights, 34-32. Lake Catholic won their, won their regular season games in consecutive fashion, i.e. 10-0 with a 26-17 win over NDCL. And on Tuesday night game, Keystone held on in a crazy finish against Clearview. Clearview completed a Hail Mary, well short though, pitched it back a couple of times, but Keystone was all over and they won the game. Streetsboro undefeated, 63-15. Buckeye, 51. Lakewood, 14. North Olmsted finishes 5-5, and after a really bad start, that's pretty impressive, 31-14. North Royalton upset the Grizzlies, their first loss of the season. They're going to do it all over again next week. We'll get to that in a bit, and by next week, I mean tomorrow. Nordonia, 49. Brecksville, 13. Port Elyria won 0-10. That's got to hurt. And they lost to Brea Mid Park. North Ridgeville beat Amherst Steel 26-7. Talmadge shut out Copley 31-0. Revere beat Roosevelt 17-7. Copley and Revere going at it. They're going at it again and again at Copley Stadium. Chardon beat Riverside 25-14. Geneva beat Jefferson Area 56-22. D3 football. Cortland shut out St. John Fisher, unsurprisingly. What else happened? Platteville beat Whitewater. La Crosse beat River Falls 28-24. Wartburg just got by Co 14-7. And how about Whitworth? My lock of the week, Pacific, made life pretty difficult for them, 39-32. And Ohio Wesleyan wins their game 41-14. And Otterbein beat Capital. Capital's still looking for that elusive first win. Capital is really falling on some bad luck and bad times in football. My goodness, 39-10, that ain't good. They're 0-7. Worcester beat Oberlin. Oberlin also having a rough season. They're 0-7 as well, I believe. 46-21 the final there. Almost starting to catch fire, 67-14. Albion beat Kalamazoo 28-23. Randolph making the Yellow Jackets beat Bridgewater 49-16. John Carroll just continuing to torch everyone, unfortunately. 5-game winning streak. They beat Wilmington 66-14. Mount St. Joe's barely got by Franklin with a 46-43 win. And Hanover beat Manchester 55-7. And Heidelberg took down Muskingum 52-24. And unfortunately, the Jackets got killed out there at Don Drum Stadium in Marietta, where the Pioneers just bullied us. 47-7. Yikes, we've dropped 3 of the last 4. We're slumping. But 3 more games and we can still recover. I think we will. Coach Hilvert's a good guy and a good coach. Carthage beat Milliken by 4. And Westminster ends Case's undefeated season 17-14. FBS, Boise beat UNLV 29-24. USC beat Rutgers 42-20. Ohio State beat Nebraska 21-17. What was actually a good game? Notre Dame beat up on Navy. That's good, 51-14. Indiana also good because they're my lock of the week. They're 8-0, I believe. They beat up Washington 31-17. Virginia Tech beat Georgia Tech by a score of 21-6. Oregon beat Illinois. They're still number 1, 38-9. Alabama gets back to their winning ways and actually for the first time in a while win in convincing fashion. 34-0 over a ranked team too. Maybe their season isn't over. Boy, you know whose season is over? Oklahoma State. Oh, they had high hopes heading into this season. They have crashed and burned. 3-5, 38-28 win for the Bears. Texas escapes out of Vanderbilt, does something Alabama couldn't do. 27-24. Miami beat Florida State. 36-14. Florida State might be the worst team in all college football. Akron has more wins than Florida Suck or Florida State. I call them Florida Suck because they suck. Penn State beat Wisconsin 28-13. They were without Drew Hauer for a good chunk of the game, I believe. A&M beat LSU 38-23 down to the 12th man. Michigan beat Michigan State 24-17. Kansas State and the Little Apple beat Kansas 29-27. And Colorado down Cincinnati 34-23. In the NFL, Rams won 30-20 courtesy of a no face mask call where Sam Darnold, I believe, his face mask was ripped. And they didn't call it. And the Browns beat the Ravens. Jameis Winston is the man. I love Jameis Winston. I don't know if you know that or whatnot, folks. But that dude can really gunsling it. And he's actually a good quarterback. And he's actually pretty likable. And the Lions destroyed Tennessee 52-14. And the Texans beat the Colts 23-20. Packers beat the Jags 30-27. Sucksonville in full effect again. Cardinals beat Free Willy 28-27. The Patriots beat the Jets. Suck. Nothing's going right for them. They fired their coach. Still not getting off the ground. Got a new receiver. Still not getting off the ground. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers that's the issue. Who knows? But anyways, Falcons beat the Buccaneers 31-26. Falcons swapped the Buccaneers this season. Eagles took down the Bengals, my upset, 37-17. Chargers beat the Saints 26-8. Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10. Bills are running away with that East, aren't they, folks? Yes, they are. And the Commies on one of the most insane finishes I have ever seen. First off, their kicker drills 4 field goals for the Commies. Unbelievable. And then Caleb Williams says, hold on, it's not over yet. Caleb Williams knows what he's got in the tank. Gets that big rushing touchdown, or gets that big touchdown with 25 seconds left, I think. Jaden Daniels gets him up to the 48 of Washington. One last shot, rolls out right, then rolls back to the middle, takes a bunch of steps, guns it deep, end zone, ball, trying to swat it away, but by doing so, he tips it. And right to the Commies receiver. I forgot who it was, but it was one of the craziest, most unlikeliest finishes I have seen in a long time. Jaden Daniels just won Rookie of the Year with that game. My goodness. Offensive Rookie of the Year, excuse me. That might be one of the greatest finishes you'll ever see. Broncos, Chiefs, Niners, and Steelers also won, as you can tell right there. Now we'll go to Tommy's picks. High school football playoffs, and because it's the first round, we're going to have 3 locks and 3 upsets. Starting with the first game being an upset, Mentor St. Ignatius. Now, Mentor's been on fire, but they only beat St. Ignatius by 6. Meanwhile, St. Ignatius, the only in-state team they've beaten the last 2 years, that would be the Mentor Cardinals. Last year in the regular season and last year in the playoffs. Anything you can do once, you can do twice. Maybe St. Ignatius is going to win. Give me St. Ignatius. Whitmer will beat John Marshall. The Perrysburg Yellow Jackets will beat Medina. Jackson over Brunswick. McKinley over Normandy. What else is there? I think that Lorraine's going to lose to Brea Mid Park, so that means Brea Mid Park will be taking on Perrysburg and having a long bus ride, won't they? Perrysburg out near Toledo. Eds will beat Findlay. I think Eds is going to bounce back. I know they've played a lot of tough teams this season. And Strongsville against Cleveland Heights. I don't know why I'm going Cleveland Heights. I think they got it. D2R5. We got 2 locks right here. Walsh and Hoban going to take care of Willoughby South and Firestone, respectively. Nordonia against Solon. Nordonia, I got to go with the Knights. They took care of the Comets pretty easily this season. Austintown Fitch against Mayfield, going with the Falcons. Harding will beat John Hay. Green over Riverside. Hoover will beat Lake. And Boardman over Hudson. And then D2R6, our region. And Wadsworth's region, too. Avon's going to sweep the 4 with the North Olmsted, aren't they? We're going to sweep the 4 with Fremont Ross. I'm saving the locks of the weeks for later. But Anthony Wayne is another lock of the week against Cleveland Rhodes. The Rhodes Rams are going to get destroyed against Anthony Wayne. North Ridgeville will beat Start. And here's my second upset. Wadsworth against North Royalton. Anything you can do once, you can do it twice. Got to go with the Bears. That's right. And then Oregon Clay against Sandusky. Got to go Oregon Clay. Avon Lake will beat St. Francis of Sales. Olmsted Falls over Amherst. Ursuline will beat Cheney. Gilmore will beat Akron East. CVCA over University School. Aurora over Bedford. Geneva Masson. I'm going to go out on a limb here, folks. Going to say Talmadge is going to be Chardon. You never know what can happen. I'm probably going to be horribly wrong on that, but you never know. You never know. Kenston over Maple Heights, and VASJ will beat Hagen. Division 3, Region 10, Toledo Central Catholic will beat Lutheran West. Buckeye over Norwalk. Benedictine over Tiffin Columbian, and Rocky River and Maumee will beat Hoyname and Lexington. Then I got Bowling Green and Midview winning their games. And then Copley Revere again. Second time they faced off. Yeah, Copley Stadium got to go with the always rough and tough Copley Indians. But that'll be a good game. All right, everyone else. Whitewater will beat River Falls. DePaul will beat Kenyon, my lock of the week. Grove City over Waynesburg. Case will upset Washington and Jefferson. Worcester will beat Hiram. Catholic over Keystone. Wycoming beats Juniata. Wabash over Denison. I think we'll get back to our winning ways. We got to get back to our winning ways. Because it's been a rough 2 weeks. I feel like that game against John Carroll broke us against Marietta. Jackets will come back. We will prevail. We will beat the Muskies. Marietta against Wilmington. I got to go Marietta. Marietta! They're number 25 in the country, by the way. They're about to go 8-0. And John Carroll will beat Ohio Northern. Rose-Hulman over Manchester. Augustana over Illinois Wesleyan. Randolph-Macon will come back and win over Washington Lee. Well, they did win last week, so why would they come back? And, of course, you got Wittenberg against Oberlin. Got to go Wittenberg. Hobart against RPI. Got to go Hobart. Bowdoin will beat Bates. And Chicago will beat Orange. In the FBS, big noon kickoff, because Fox Sports does not like college football and does not like the idea of a night game at Beaver Stadium. Oh, that's rough. They're robbing us of some gold. They're robbing us of some really cool stuff. Oh well, Penn State's still going to beat Ohio State nonetheless. Miami will beat Duke. Arkansas, they're going to pull off another upset. They're going to beat Ole Miss. Vandy will beat Auburn. Oregon will come to the big house and beat up Michigan. Georgia's my lock of the week against Florida. What else is there? Indiana will go to 9-0 against Michigan State with a win. Florida suck against North Carolina. Come on, too easy. A&M's going to beat South Carolina. Who would have thought Clemson would still be on fire after a terrible game against Georgia? They're still staying afloat out there, and they could have a crash course with Miami for the ACC. I'm going Clemson over Louisville down Death Valley. Iowa will beat Wisconsin at Kinnick. USC will beat Washington. That's Big Ten matchups now. That's so weird. Tennessee will beat Kentucky. SMU will beat Pitt. Baylor over TCU, and Nevada will beat Florida State. In the NFL tonight, Jets play the Texans. Come on, almost too easy. Got to go with those Texans. Let's see what else is there. Falcons against the Cowboys. Got to go Falcons because the Cowboys are ice cold this season. Pretty sure we all know that by now. What else is there, folks? What else is there? There's the Broncos against the Ravens. Got to go with the Broncos with an upset. How about that? Bills will beat Free Willy. Saints will beat the Panthers in a Tank Bowl game. What else? Bengals, Raiders, got to go Bengals. Browns are back because Mr. Jameis Winston is the quarterback and not Deshaun Watson. Oh, you talk about an upgrade. It's like going from some crappy car to a sports car. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like going from a neat old beat-up pickup truck to something really fancy like my Dodge Charger. But anyways, and the Browns will beat the Chargers. Commies will beat the Giants. Titans will beat the Patriots. Bears will beat the Cardinals. Eagles are my lock of the week against Sucksonville. Lions will beat the Packers. That'll be a good game. That should have been flexed to Sunday night. I don't think flexing happens just yet. Seahawks will beat the Rams. Colts will beat the Vikings. And the Chiefs will beat the Buccaneers. I picked up Joe Flacco on my fantasy team, by the way. The request of my good friend. He's a good guy, but I'm pretty sure we all know that by now. We all know Tommy Maroon Sports Show is just about done. Subscribe to WHBW. Can't believe we did all that stuff in 20 some odd minutes. Till next time, Tommy Maroon, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.